From remote galaxies are 13 of the most sinister villains of all time, the Legion of Doom, dedicated to a single objective, the conquest of the universe. Only one group dares to challenge this intergalactic threat.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Nemesis Prime here on the 3 Men in a Basement channel. We are doing a top 5 favorite comic book series of 2019, and I figured I'd bring in one of my cohorts, Dave in the Cave. Say what's going on.
What's up, party people? No 9.8s for the show.
So I figured, 2020, we're trying to do a lot of new things here at 3 Men in a Basement. So you guys always like lists. So I figured let's do a top 5 favorite comic series of 2019. This can be anywhere from a new series, limited series, mini series, and ongoing that you just really like the continuation of those books. Mine are all kind of in the 2019 realm, but there are definitely going to be some surprises. I don't know Dave's yet. Dave doesn't know mine, so this is going to be a complete surprise for both of us. Dave, kind of, we talked about doing this real quick. I'll tell you, for me, I didn't really go digging in long boxes. I literally went to my CLZ app and I just started going down and figured out which series. I think I narrowed it down to 8, and then I narrowed it down to 5. So how did you actually figure out how you were going to do your top 5?
Pretty much the same thing. I went to CLZ. I kind of filtered by year just to kind of see what I had to choose from, so to speak. And then I was just kind of cherry picking. And again, I've crap all over the place. So I was lucky enough to have the books out. So I'm like, I'll just show the books. So, but same line of thinking. So it'll be interesting to see where both of us land.
yeah, definitely. And guys, in no order, I don't have an order. It's just going to be top 5. So before we get into it, guys, of course, you got to check out our sponsor, Rocket Comics. They are a facilitator for pressing as well as CGC signature. They do have a lot of upcoming shows this year, as you can see on screen. Our first show is actually in about a week or so at Cal Comic Con, and then of course the first big one, C2E2 Emerald City WonderCon. Of course, there is tons of artists where you can get signatures as well as pressing needs. Right here is the schedule for, I should say, the pricing for pressing and cleaning. And if you are using them for the first time and throw the 3 MIB or 3 Men in a Basement out there when you send them their invoice, you get 20% off pressing, cleaning. And then if you like their services, which I'm sure you will because they have a bunch of books of mine and they upgraded a lot of nice ones. I can't wait to get those back from CGC. You get 10% off for returning customers using the code 3MIB. So, all right, that's paid the bills for this video, guys. So let's get right into it. Dave, do you want to go first, or do you want to do rock, paper, scissors over it?
Yeah, I'll go first. So right. I'll jump right into DC. So kind of changed the course of the universe with this one, and I'm gonna go with Batman Who Laughs #1. Coming out of the Dark Knight's Metal, him getting his own series, and he just kind of changed the landscape of things. And I think it's nice to have a big baddie back in DC that's, I don't want to say relevant, but like he's one of those guys that can really mess some stuff up. So I mean, 5-book run, real easy to read. Again, it's Capullo, it's Snyder, Jock on cover art for the majority of them. So fun read, really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely used a lot, I think, in 2019. So let's see what 2020 brings, right?
For sure.
So my first book, guys, a new series, of course, Naomi. 6-book run. I'm sure you guys know I bought a ton of Naomi #1s. I graded them, I sold them, I kept a bunch. But this was I really like this book. First of all, Brian Michael Bendis is great at creating characters. Created Miles Morales, and you guys know where he is in 10-year span. So not only did Bendis's writing, but just Jamal Campbell's art was unbelievable. I really like the storyline. It's very similar to a Superman, where she's an orphan. She doesn't know where she's from. She's adopted parents. You find out that she finds out that she's from a different world. There's someone kind of like an Obi-Wan. There's someone behind the scenes, kind of not mentoring her, but following her, making sure she's been okay all these years. So this is definitely one of my top series of 2019, and she's recently appeared in Action Comics, as well as she just recently showed up on Young Justice, in Bendis's book that he's also writing. So that's one of my top 5. So Dave, what do you got next?
Nice. And Naomi's on her own imprint, right? That's Wonder Comics, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
That's dope. Mm-hmm. All right. So my next book. So it's actually coming out of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5. So this is actually a specific story arc. So it starts on Amazing Spider-Man number 16. So this was the Hunted storyline. Went from number 16 to number 23. And again, with me trying to complete the Spider-Man run, again, I have a vested interest in again, really reading the story. But I haven't been as excited to read a story and see how it's going to come to a conclusion as that right there. I mean, the art was beautiful on it. You had Stegman on interiors. Humberto Ramos did a couple covers. There was 9 million variants all over the place. But no, I mean, it was a fantastic read. Again, anytime that you get Craven a little shine, that's always a good thing. So
cool. And how many issues that ran? That ran from 16 to
23 was the 23 was the epilogue. So
okay, all right, yeah. I thought is it kind of similar to Craven's Last Hunt in a way, or almost like a continuation?
Yeah, they brought in so many different characters from all over the place. I think it was the Savage Six. Again, spoiler alert, the chameleons kind of brought in at the end. And again, it just kind of sets up things for the next few books and certainly beyond. So it's a good read for sure.
Cool. Definitely. And Spider-Man's going for a really long time. So, and that's something that's big on your list, is collecting all the Spider-Man. So I'm glad that you put that one on your list for 2019. So my next up for 2019 favorite series, this started right before the movie came out, Captain Marvel. Nice. This is probably her 6th or 7th volume. I have no idea at this point. The beginning didn't really start so well. Actually, I should say that the first arc was okay. She kind of went to she had to fight this character who basically took her into another world where you had she was like a rebel, she had the shaved head. She had Spider-Woman was there, as well as some of the other female characters from the Marvel universe. But it wasn't until issue number 8 where they introduced Star. This story arc with her was unbelievable. Again, spoiler alert for anybody who's watching these top 5, there's definitely going to be some. Of course, Star is a character who was introduced in issue 1, which you didn't know. And her first appearance as Star is in issue number 8. So she has the Reality Stone in her. And she fights Captain Marvel. Eventually, Captain Marvel defeats her. And Star now actually has her first limited series, which I read issue 1. And actually, I thought it was really good. And then before the end of 2019, they started the most recent story arc, which was The Last Avenger. They've done, I think, 2 parts on this, or maybe even 3 parts on this, where she's a bad guy fighting the Avengers. In the first issue, she fights Thor, and then she goes after Iron Man. Spoiler alert, kills Thor, quote unquote, kills Thor. Iron Man, air quoted. Same thing with Iron Man. So, but I really like this series. I think it's definitely come a long way since the first 5 or 6 issues. The second and third story arcs have been amazing. So definitely one of my top picks for 2019. And I look forward to
Mark Brooks murdering those covers. My God, unreal. He's untouchable lately. So it's good stuff.
Yep. So what do you got next, Dave?
All right. So everybody knows, well, if you don't know, I'm a big Thanos guy, and Thanos was right, by the way. So my third pick is actually the current run of Thanos. This is actually the variant cover of number 1. This is actually Ron Lim on cover art, but I'm digging the story because it's like everything coming out of the previous storyline with Thanos and Donna Cates and Cosmic Ghost Rider and how all of that ended. This one kind of ultimately presses the reset button. So it's, telling the origin story of how Thanos became Thanos, who Gamora is, who the Black Order are. And it's basically, again, it's a history lesson on how all of these different characters came up. Story's great. You have Jeff Deckel on the cover art, and it's been a fun read. So and again, I'm a huge Thanos guy, so it's it's ultimately the icing on the cake. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I was deciding if I was going to read that. Now I think it starts with Legacy, right? That Legacy one shot was the first book, and then it became the ongoing because of what happened in the last. What was that one series where Gamora was like evil and she killed Thanos? What was that series?
I think that might have been Legacy, because Legacy was a short. It was like a mini series. I think it was either 1 or 2 issues. A one shot. I'll have to go back and look, but I definitely have those.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of those too. So,
nice.
All right, so that's definitely a good pick. I mean, you're definitely rocking with a lot of that, a lot of the Marvel stuff, which is awesome. My next book, I'll throw in one of my favorite reads. It was a small limited series from DC Black Label. Nice. Batman: The Last Night on Earth, done by Snyder and Capullo. If you guys know, if you read the entire Batman New 52 run, there are some little issues in there that talk about, again, spoiler alert, they talk about Batman having a machine that when one Bruce Wayne dies, another Bruce Wayne is reborn, has all the knowledge, all the powers of his fighting techniques, everything, all of his memories, and continues with Batman. There's an annual in the New 52 that also goes on and describes this. But this storyline is really awesome. It's the same thing. It picks up years later after some apocalyptic, catastrophic like event happens. Batman, the first issue is all about Batman inside of a asylum. And he gets out and he finds out, you find out that he is not the original Batman, that Batman died and a new Batman is reborn. And throughout that, you actually get to see different characters, which I really like. As you can see, Wonder Woman with the shaved head. I mean, you see Poison Ivy, you see Huntress, Vixen, tons of different characters throughout the run. I mean, the art's awesome because, of course, it's Capullo. And throughout the entire series, you have Joker, who's in a glass jar with only his head, and somehow he's staying alive. But this was a really great read. I can't say enough about it. I think Snyder does a great job on Batman and everything that Capullo draws. When you see different characters throughout this entire run, he always takes it to the next level on different characters, which is really nice to see. So that was definitely one of my top picks, and it is one of, especially being a DC Black Label book, was really nice.
Yeah, I love that Black Label stuff. It's funny because I was going down the list, and again, I had all those magazine-sized books, Killer Smile, and I'm trying to remember that other one, not Damned, but it was another one. But
there's Harleen, there's the Superman Year One.
Yeah, that was good. I really like really good stuff coming out of Black Label. I really do hope, again, they continue on with it. I mean, it's just good stuff. It's different. I mean, I like the different format sizes of it. I mean, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to store, but
definitely.
But first world problems in comic collecting. So
absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Just let you know, if you guys are watching this before February 29th, we are having our first annual New Jersey Comic Swap. It is February 29th from 1 to 5 p.m. at Frenchie's Bar and Grill. It's right in my hometown of Roselle Park, right off the Garden State Parkway, exit 137. We will be doing, if you want to attend, it's completely free. If you want to set up, please contact either myself, Everett Otto, or Roger Levette to get any information. If you're looking to set up, please come before 1 o'clock so we can get everything situated. You guys can bring whatever you want. I mean, I'm bringing some short boxes, some CGC stuff. I may bring some Funko Pops and even some statues that I kind of need to get rid of. So again, it's right in New Jersey, guys. I hope to have this. This is the third one that we're having with 3 Men in a Basement. First two were in Connecticut. This is our third one. I'm bringing it to New Jersey. So I hope to see a lot of New Jersey people as well as some guys from New York. So Dave, I know you're coming.
I will be there.
Some other people, right? So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. These things always, turn out for the best. And, again, whether you sell one book, whether you sell all your books, whether you sell no books, it's always a good time. So it's good stuff.
Yep. And we do raffles. We do giveaways. We're going to try to do a live show. If not a live show that Saturday, definitely that Saturday night down here at my place, because the guys from 3 Men in a Basement up in Connecticut are coming down. So we are definitely going to be doing a huge live show that night. So
Nice.
all right, Dave, let's go get right back into our top 5 favorite comic series of 2019. What's your number 4?
All right, number 4. So I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna go indie, and I'm also gonna lie and tell you that there are 9.8s on this show. No, it's monstrous. This is arguably, again, with Saga, taking its little vacation or hiatus, whatever you want to call it. I mean, far and away, my favorite indie book to read. Marjorie Liu, Sana Takeda, again, they're an all-star team. The way Sana draws, the storytelling of Marjorie. I mean, it's again, it's amazing. You could tell that, again, she's been doing this a really, really long time, because those first 6, 7, 8 issues were literally all world building, giving you origin stories of different characters, kind of setting the stage for what's to come. And the fact that you can sit there and essentially enjoy world building, again, it's awesome. I mean, I'm at a loss for words, but again, we're 26 issues deep into the series, and each issue is better than the last. So I'm hoping she's able to keep up the good momentum. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, that was close to being on my top 5. I think that definitely made my top 10 of last year, but I definitely had to whittle it down to some other stuff. So it's definitely a good choice. I would have put that on my top 10, I would say, but this is only top 5. So next up for my 4th one, again, no order, another Wonder Comics book, Young Justice, and again, it's another Brian Michael Bendis book. I really like this series. I thought he did a great job reintroducing all these characters, because some of these characters we haven't seen in a very long time. A lot of them, a couple new characters. You got Teen Lantern, you got Jenny Hicks, Jonah Hicks's great granddaughter, Impulse. You have one of my favorite of the Donna Troy Wonder Woman. You have Cassie Sidmark, Wonder Girl. You got Amethyst, and you have John Kent, Superboy, who we haven't seen in a very long time. So seeing all these characters was just really nice to have this first story arc, Gem World, where all the characters go to Gem World, where Amethyst is from. They all meet together before they go there. They meet back up with Superboy, because that's where he is in the first story arc, where you find out that he was transferred there from Star Labs. So I think it's just a really great series. The more current issues they're back in, they've been kind of jumping from different worlds. They met up on one Earth where Stephanie Brown, who is spoiler, she was actually Batgirl. Robin Tim Drake is now just he's just Drake. He's got the different costumes, as you can see, and they actually are bringing forward Naomi, so she's now in the comic. And as you can see also in issue 12, the Wonder Twins are there, because they have their own comic on the Wonder Comics print. So this is definitely made my top 5. I really like this series. It's changed from the different artists. Went from Patrick Gleason, who was one of my favorite artists from DC, but he actually jumped ship and went to Marvel, and he's currently doing your book, Amazing Spider-Man.
That he is.
So now we have currently John Timms doing the art, which John was great on Harley Quinn. So this has been a great 12-issue run so far. And like I said, I'm really excited that I put this one on my top 5. Which actually, I should say, it made it on my top 5.
No, I tell you what, I mean, John Timms' art is definitely growing on me. I mean, again, seeing all your stuff, some of the beautiful commissions that you've had done, and even that right there. I mean, that's going to make me go out tomorrow and pick up those first couple issues. No, but I mean, it looks really interesting. I like that. Again, that whole world building. It's a new story. Bendis is kind of again, he's a professional at doing that type of stuff. So that's awesome. So
yeah, I mean, he's writing Action Comics, right? He's still writing that. He's writing that, the Young Justice. I think he's doing another Wonder Comics book. I mean, he was doing, of course, Naomi. So, I mean, he did a lot in 2019 when he came on board for DC Comics. So yeah, he's definitely a busy guy. He's a busy writer. So yeah,
right out of the gate too. They basically gave him the keys to the castle and said, "Okay, go do what you do."
Definitely. All right, Dave. So, what is your last book on the top 5
Yeah.
comic series of 2019.
So my last book, I mean, again, I think it's nostalgic in a lot of different ways, but my last book is actually Spider-Man Life Story. So these were the books that kind of grouped Spider-Man stories into specific decades. So, I mean, there were 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And it was a, you know, the best way to describe it is it's a 32-page synopsis of 10 years of storyline. So, you know, really gave you, you know, all the little, you know, bits and pieces of, into the important events that kind of helped shape that decade for Spider-Man. And, you know, it was almost like a baton pass at the end where, you know, it was perfect segue into what the next book and what the next decade was going to be. So really liked it. You know, again, I don't know. It's my Spider-Man bias. I don't know what to say.
Well, and then this is a spoiler to people, but it does every 10 years, but it actually helps out with telling people that Spider-Man ages, right? So every 10 years, he's getting older and 10 years older and 10 years older. When, I mean, you've been reading Amazing Spider-Man and all he's gone is from like high school to college to being somewhere maybe in his 20s, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, late 20s, maybe early 30s in the 50 year plus years of Marvel. So this is a really interesting book. And I know I definitely want to grab it in trade because I know it's harder to find in the first prints. So yeah. I'll definitely look for that in trade. And I think it recently did come out in trade. So I definitely want to plan to read that. So glad you put that on your list. That's definitely a great read, guys. So if you are checking out that video, this video, let us know down in the comments which of these are your favorites. And my final book. So I had, you know what I have? I had 1, 2, 3 DC. I had 1 Marvel. And I had to throw an indie series in there, and I'm sure Dave knows where I'm going with my indie series.
Boom! I was wondering when this was going to pop up. That's good stuff.
Kieran Gillian, Stephanie Hans can do no wrong. Six teenagers go into a fantasy world. 2 years later, 5 of them come out. It skips forward 25 years. Where these five adults now have to go back into the world to find their one friend who appears randomly. I cannot say enough about this, and I call it all the time. It's a goth Jumanji in a fantasy world. I mean, the characters are amazing, and the art from Stephanie is just on point. They're in their second story arc right now. I mean, these are just some of the panels that, you know, are drawn. This is one of the characters that has this ability where she talks to a goddess, where she basically loses something to gain something. You have other characters such as Ash, who is a magician. You have the Fool, who is on the right. He's kind of like the trickster of them. There's just so many cool characters. I love Die, and I'm so happy that it's a continuing series. Of course, as you know, I collect all things Die, so it wouldn't be a show without me showing some type of variant. So let me just grab one real quick. Let's see. Yeah. So I have, throw this on me real quick, guys. So this is the Die #1 anniversary edition done by Justine Franny through Ink Gallery. I had to actually buy a few of these because I loved it so much. And that last one, I put the word press on it because I have to send this one out for pressing. But I definitely want to have Stephanie and have Kieran and the artist maybe sign it sometime this year. So, guys, I hope you liked the video. That's the top 5. Dave, thank you so much for joining me for this video for our top 5 favorite comic book series of 2019. We definitely, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share the video, and of course, hit the notification bell so you know anytime we always drop any of our videos. We do live shows. Try to do them every 2 weeks on a Friday. Our next show, if you're watching this early enough, will be January 24th, I believe. It's a Friday. We do have a special guest. Hopefully, if everything falls through, we'll be posting it on our social media in the coming days. So, Dave, any closing words?
No, hey, this was fun. It's I'm a big fan of nostalgia. Anytime we can go back in the past and kind of talk about some books and some good stories, that's always a good thing. And hey, thank you for the good idea and kind of being able to kind of chop it up. So it's good stuff.
And guys, let me know in the comments what's the next top 5 you guys want to see for this year. So this is our top 5 comic series. We're definitely I'm looking for top 5 favorite storylines of all time. But let us know in the comments what you guys want to see. It's your boy Nemesis Pride, Dave in the Cave, signing out. Thank you guys so much. Peace out, guys.